Today we're going to talk about the Mighty Byte Uniforce clamps. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a simple fixture assembly in SolidWorks utilizing the Uniforce clamp part number 60750. And real quick we'll just go over a few of the specs of the Uniforce clamp. This particular model, we're generating 1,500 pounds of holding force on either side of the clamp at a max torque value of 10.8 foot-pounds for the 1/4-20 socket head screw used with the clamp. One of the other items to note is the max spread of the clamp, which is 0.785. The clamp in the relaxed position has an A dimension of 0.735. And then one other key note is the F dimension, which is 0.750. The F dimension noted down here in the bottom of the specs is the distance between workpieces for clamp clearance. And then you drill and tap the mounting hole on the center of the F dimension. And let's see, what we're going to do now is we'll head into SolidWorks. And what I've created is just a mock assembly of this. We've already brought everything into the assembly. What we'll do here is made everything up, and we'll create the slot and the mounting holes for the clamp. Alright. And what we'll start out with is mating up our locating rails. This particular locating rail we're using today is Mighty Byte part number 33280. And what I've created is slots that are 30 thousandths deep. And the width on them is 0.982, which is 2 thousandths larger in width than the actual locating rail itself. And we'll just mate those up into place. And we'll make them flush on the ends. And then we'll give a distance of 1 thousandths in between the slot and the clamp face. Next we'll take one of our parts and we'll bring it right up tight to the face of the locating rail. Then we'll bring it down tight to the face of the fixture plate itself. Then we'll give a distance made of 0.5 on the edge. Next we'll add one of our locating pins. We'll mate that concentric. Then we'll bring these faces coincident. Next we will take one of our clamps, Uniforce clamp, and what we'll do is we'll give a distance between the face of the part and the face of the clamp of 0.0075. And what that'll give us, as we made up the rest of our pieces, is the 3/4 of an inch dimension in between parts in order to remove the clamp if needed, and part removal. We'll mate these faces flush. And one thing to note also is the top of the clamp itself wants to be flush with the top of the locating rail. And we'll accept that mate. And then we'll bring in our next part. We'll mate these two faces flush along with these two side faces. And then again we'll give this a distance of 0.0075. And then if we just take a quick measurement, we should have 3/4 of an inch in between parts, which we do. I'll just hit save here. And what I'll do next is I'll mate up our second locating pin. And we'll go flush with the top of the other pin. The next thing is we'll bring in our second locating rail. And then we'll make it flush on the ends with the other locating rail. And then we'll give a distance of 0.001. And we'll accept this. We'll save this. The next thing we'll do is we'll add our slot, which we're going to bring right down the length of the fixture plate. What we'll end up doing in the end is doing a linear pattern and have multiple parts and clamps on this simple fixture plate. So we'll pick the side face and we'll look straight on, and then we'll edit our part, and then we'll insert a sketch on the side of our fixture plate. And we'll just grab a rectangle, and at this point we'll just put a rectangle down with no particular distance. We'll add a dimension here of 0.050, and that 0.050 is just the number that I know we need to have the slot in order to have the bottom of the clamp sit tight in the slot, which will in turn give us that flush height we're looking for. And then as far as distance between the slot and the clamp, we'll give this around 10 thousandths clearance. Having the little gap between the clamp and the slot will just keep the clamp in place while removing parts and adding parts. And what we'll do next is we will cut extrude all the way through the top of the fixture plate. And what we'll do next is we'll add one of our mounting holes. And I'll just pick the face of the slot. And again, per the catalog, it'll be in the center of the slot, the threaded hole. And what I'll do is I'll just insert a sketch, and we'll add a circle, and I'll just pick the center of the socket head screw as a location point. We'll give that a dimension of 0.201. And then we'll do a cut extrude. We're going to go through right through the full thickness of this fixture plate. Alright, we'll get out of our edit component, and we'll save this. And what I'll do next is I'll do a linear pattern and add more pieces to the assembly. I'll pick an edge, and I'll flip the direction of the arrow here. It looks like it wants to take it to the right. We'll flip the edge. We'll go 2 inches on center, and we'll go quantity 3. And components, we'll pick our 2 parts, our pins, our socket head cap screw, the steel wedge used in the clamp, and the aluminum channel. And we'll accept these. And then we'll save this. And we'll just make the base transparent just so we can kind of see what's going on. This concludes this simple fixture assembly using the Mighty Byte Uniforce clamps.